Good evening. Good evening. My name is Steve Quattlebaum, and I'm grateful to be here. Usually you guys are telling me to talk quieter, so I'm honored to be able to talk to you guys tonight. And we had the 23rd Psalm, and that's something that's always been a great comfort to me when I'm afraid, when I'm lonely, when I'm hurting. And that goes way back to me sobering up back in 1988 and being overseas in the Army on holidays. You know, whenever I was struggling, some of those prayers, some of those verses, like the 23rd Psalms, the Lord's Prayer, the Prayer of St. Francis, and another one I learned in recovery that I say every morning. Lord, I'm now ready. You should have all of me, good and bad. I pray you now remove from me every single defect of character that stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. I used to think that I got to decide which character defects to work on, but I've learned that God sometimes gives me a nudge. And I want to talk about that because last May, Dion and I bought a house, and we moved. We hadn't moved in 25 years. So we found out just how much stuff we accumulated over that 25 years. And that move was brutal on me physically. I tore up both of my knees, my shoulder, and I was in pain constantly after that move. And I knew just how out of shape I was. It wasn't until one morning I was downstairs getting clothes out of the dryer. I dropped a sock and I bent over to pick it up, and the shelf I leaned on broke and down I went. And I hurt my hand. I hit my head on the washing machine, and Dion came downstairs and I was unable to get up. And I just needed to take inventory on what was broken and what wasn't. And I finally did get up, and we went upstairs, and I had a good cry about it. And I asked God to help me. I had gotten up to 382 pounds, and I didn't, you know, whether I was in denial about it or, you know, you gain 5 or 10 pounds a year and you think I'm going to get to it, and I just never got to it. So I hit a bottom. And that night, laying in bed, the 23rd Psalm, I said it over and over. And then that Psalm 30 verse 2, you know, we ask God to heal us, and he does. So the next day, I made a decision to reach out to my doctor, who is also somebody that's involved with me in other spiritual things, and we came up with a plan. And December 30th, I had gastric surgery, and you know, that was humiliating, embarrassing, and all of those things. But once my mind was ready, I knew I had a plan. I embraced it because I knew that God would get me through that. And my wife supported me, and my family supported me. And, you know, it's a work in progress. I'm now down to 308, and I'm anxiously wanting to get under 300 pounds. I'm starting to wear clothes I haven't worn in a long time. I can go to a restaurant and sit in a booth now. I haven't been able to do that in several years. So, one of the things that I have found in my 54 years is that when I'm ready to give it to God and I ask God, he helps me with that stuff. Whether it be the drugs and alcohol, chewing tobacco, and now the weight. It seems like people with addictions give up something and take something else. So I need to get addicted to eating broccoli or something. That would be in my best interest. So the other thing that I'm extremely grateful for is, and the thing that saved Theon and I, we have 30 years of marriage coming up in April. And the church family that we have saved us. And it's, again, learning these verses and applying them. I was taught that knowledge is knowing things. Wisdom is applying the knowledge we have. So I try to not be a know-it-all, but try to be wise in doing the things God has us do. So One of the things that I'm really grateful for is I went through confirmation as an adult with my daughters. So learning the memory verses and all of those. And I don't remember which birthday it was, but Theon went around to people and had them say memory work into a tape recorder, and then she put that on a CD. So Dave had said something, Todd had said something, Jeff had said something, and then I was able, because I was on the road as a salesman, to put in that CD and listen to that, and listen to my family, the people that I turn to whenever I'm hurting or afraid or lonely or need help. And that was a great comfort. So if there's nothing else to take away from this, when I'm up here, things are difficult. But when I can open my heart and let God in, and then get out of my own way and go back to those verses that bring me comfort, it makes a huge difference in my life. And I think that's the difference today. When I do ministry with guys coming out of prison and other things, it's just the repetitiveness of seeking God and trying to be in communion with God, and maybe not try to think our way into better living, but live our way into better thinking and let that heart open up. So I can't think of anybody that I would rather share that with than my faith family. So thank you very much.